Hello and welcome to the Wayne State Coaches Show, an exclusive here on MyWayNews.com. I'm Mike Carnes. We're here to talk Wildcat athletics, and when we come back, we'll talk with Wayne State men's basketball coach Jeff Kaminsky as the Wildcats end their 2018-19 season with the Northern Sun Conference tournament. And we'll have that and information about the NCAA Central Region tournament when we come back right after this time out here on MyWayNews.com.
The Coaches Show is sponsored by Pack and Save. Pack and Save is a proud supporter of Wildcat Athletics and is your one-stop shop for savings. Check out Pack and Save's excellent produce and find the best cuts in their grade A meat department. Be sure to stop at the Top Notch Deli where you can find their amazing fried chicken, daily lunch specials, and all the fixings for your next tailgate or viewing party. Pack and Save is open from 7:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week, and their staff is waiting to help you for all of your grocery needs. Pack and Save, your one-stop shop for savings in Wayne, America. Go Cats!
Welcome back to the Wayne State Coaches Show on MyWayNews.com, and we're talking men's basketball with Coach Jeff Kaminsky. The Wildcats ended the season on Monday night of last week at the semifinals of the Northern Sun Conference tournament, losing a heartbreaker in overtime to Southwest Minnesota State 84-78. And the Wildcats in that game had a couple opportunities to put them away, but just couldn't quite get it done. Southwest came back and then kind of used that momentum in overtime to come away with the win. Coach, with everything that's happened this season with this team, it was a great opportunity for you guys to get to the championship game in the conference tournament and really kind of add another rose to this season. It's been a fantastic season for you guys, and unfortunately we just couldn't quite get it done in the semifinals there.
Yeah, it was. There's so many things to look back on, and unfortunately we're looking back at this point, but that game seems like a long time ago, the Southwest game. But we made. I thought I had a great opening, night win in our tournament against Mary, who was playing well, and then obviously to come in and beat St. Cloud, who's a team that we know is going to have a chance to compete at the highest level nationally. Was a huge win for our season and our program. It's been a long time since we've beaten St. Cloud, and you got to come back the next night, and I think our guys did. The Southwest game, a really tough team to play against. One of the best players in the league, in Ryan Brueggemann, and they have a lot of other skilled guys. And 2 weeks ago we did a really good job on those other skilled guys, and unfortunately in the semifinal game, their skilled guys made some really big shots against us. And as you said, we for the most part felt like we were in control of the game. We just didn't separate. We had a 10-point lead, a couple different times in the last 9 minutes, I think 6 minutes, 7 minutes to go in the game. We're still up 10, and during that stretch we missed some free throws. We had a couple front ends of 1-and-1s. We had a couple of times we went to the line and made 1 out of 2, and we just sort of left the door open for them. And when you have a dangerous team as Southwest is shooting the ball, sort of caught up to us there, and unfortunately they got us in overtime.
Yeah, Wildcats had an outstanding night from a number of players in that game. Jordan Jansen with another double-double in that ball game. He had 12 points and 12 rebounds in that game. Kendall Jacks led the way with 16 points. Trevin Joseph with 14, and Vance Jansen with 11, and Nick Ferrarini put in 10. And we kind of looking back on that game, you kind of wonder when the regional ranking or the final regional setup came out Sunday night. You kind of wonder if the outcome of that game had been different, would we be sitting here talking about the fact that Wayne State is not in the NCAA tournament this year? The final pairings came out Sunday night, and Wayne State was overtaken by Minnesota State, and as the number 8 team in the region, and they will take on Northwest Missouri State, who's the host team for that Central Region tournament beginning on Saturday. And I know I was there last night with you guys when the pairings were announced, and I was actually shooting some video of it, hoping to catch a positive, exciting reaction from the players and everybody. And the first thing I noticed when they announced that Minnesota State was the number 8 team, I saw you in the background just kind of tilt your head back, because I think you probably knew at that point that we weren't going to be in the tournament then.
Well, we did, and as you mentioned, coming into the week, we were the 7th ranked team in the region, and so Southeastern, Oklahoma, and Mankato both jumped us, and we sort of expected that it was going to come down to us and Mankato in the end. And so even though there were 6 other teams to announce in the region, once I saw Mankato's name up there, I knew it was over for us, and we just had to wait out the other 6 teams slotted in there. So just really a tough night. It was an exciting night and a fun night to be in that room with your team and legitimately having an opportunity to go to the national tournament. I couldn't be more proud of our players, and that's what makes it extremely disappointing, because we'd like to be practicing today and instead of talking about not getting in the tournament. And you really feel for your seniors mostly, because they won't have another opportunity, and they won't have the opportunity to have the experience we thought they were going to have. And so just really proud of our guys, and disappointed for them, and feel bad for all of them, but especially the seniors who, I won't have an opportunity to coach anymore.
Yeah. The thing that was frustrating about this from a fan perspective is that when you looked at those rankings last week, we were ahead of Minnesota State. Minnesota State didn't get a chance to play a game because they got beat in the first round of the conference tournament, whereas we went to the semifinals and played a team that we'd beaten twice all the year, lost to them in overtime. Obviously, if we win that game, we're probably not even having this discussion. But the thing that I guess as a fan that I find frustrating, and I've tried to explain this to some other Wildcat fans that they don't seem to understand, is how can a team jump a team when their last, when you look at the end of Minnesota State's season, it was a horrible finish for them. They had to hit a 3-pointer at the buzzer to beat an Upper Iowa team that we beat by 27 on the road, and then they turn around the next day, lose to Winona State by 28, and then their first round tournament, they play the worst team in the conference and get beat on their home floor by 10. And how do you justify saying that's good enough to jump a team that made it to the conference tournament semifinals, had a better overall record, had a better regional record? How does that justify it? It's a question you probably aren't going to get an answer to.
Probably not, and when you put it that way, it is it's difficult. But there's 8 regions, and there's 7 other schools that had a 9th place team, I guess, that are maybe feeling a little bit like we are today. It's and I told our guys I felt like we deserved to be in, so I'm not going to back away from that. I'm really proud of what our guys accomplished, but so what happened last night doesn't take away from what this group accomplished. I mean, it certainly does not. To win 21 games, which hasn't been done in almost 20 years here, and to win a share of the South Division, which has never been done before since the setup of the league. I think we haven't even been higher than 6. So to accomplish those things, I'm just really proud of our guys, and that is never going to be taken away from us. And then the other part of it, do we feel like we deserve to be in? Yes, we do. But that's part of life. I mean, you don't always get the things that you deserve, and you really, there's nothing we can do about it to change it. So it's kind of how we handle it. And I think the important thing for us is to learn that we just didn't do enough. I mean, if we could have made it obvious for the committee, whether that was winning the Southwest game or beating Mankato once. I mean, we could have made it more obvious for the committee. Some people think it was obvious for the committee, but we could have done more, and but yet we did a lot of good things. So the tough part of that is it's important that our guys handle it the right way, and they will. We got a great group of guys, but it's most disappointing for the seniors, because for the other guys, we can look at it and hopefully have something to build on, moving forward. But for our seniors, they won't ever have this opportunity again. So really feel for those 3 guys who have added so much to our program, and but really proud of what we accomplished, and that the news we got last night didn't diminish that. It's just eliminated an experience, for our players and for our seniors and for all of our guys that we're just not going to have.
Yeah. Well, the 10 years I've been here at Wayne State, I can tell you that the mindset of the basketball program and the mindset of the community regarding the basketball program has changed quite a bit this past season. I think a lot of people for a lot of years came to Rice Auditorium hoping that the men might give Upper Iowa, Southern Minnesota, Minnesota State a good game, and occasionally we were treated with an exciting game that maybe more often than not we lost, but we at least gave them a much better game than on what it might have looked like on paper. But this year it definitely has changed the mindset of the community, and what you guys have done with the program this year has been fantastic. Wayne State, I think fans now come expecting to see the men be competitive and win games, and they're I think excited about getting this program back to where it was during the Greg McDermott era, where they were winning all the time and making the NCAA tournament. And I just think it's probably the only disappointment with this season is that the NCAA didn't see what I think a lot of us here saw, that this is a program that had an outstanding season, was worthy of an opportunity to showcase that on a national level, and unfortunately we're not going to get that opportunity.
Yeah, well, I appreciate the thoughts, and I think when we got started here, 3 years ago, we understood where the program was at. But I was really proud of the team we had in year one. We won 10 games, a team that I think a lot of people thought we'd have a hard time, winning 4 or 5 games. And that group did a great job, and then we, I think, captured that momentum a little bit a year ago and won 14 games. And to come into the season with the strength of our league, we were picked 7th out of 8 teams in the South, and that was fairly justified. I think when you look back at it, we thought we had a chance to be pretty good, but we knew how important it was for our 3 seniors to have really good years. But we were also going to have to rely on some new players and particularly some freshmen. And you just never know how that's going to exactly work out. So it worked out really well. I think we had a good mix of guys and guys that competed every day and guys that were really good teammates. And when you have that, I think you have a chance to succeed. And so I'm just proud of what we've been able to do. We obviously have some more work ahead of us, and we realize how tough it is and how much of a fine line there is in this league, where you can go from being really competitive to being on the other side of it. We have a good mix of returning guys that are going to need some help from some new guys coming in. Again, it's not that dissimilar from where we were a year ago. It's just our bulk of our returning guys are younger, so. That's a good thing and exciting as well, because we knew coming in this year we had 3 seniors, and this was going to be their last shot to try to accomplish something, and even just have a winning season, which hasn't happened here in a long time. So it was kind of nice when we got win number 15, and we had some guys that have been in the program here for 4 or 5 years, and hadn't even experienced a winning season. So for them to have an opportunity to go out that way, I'm really happy for them.
Yeah, well, Wildcats ended the year with a 21-10 record and come away as, I guess you might say, the first team out in the Central Region this year. But a great season for this team, and as I said, they've taken this program up to a level we haven't seen in a while, and hopefully the challenge now is to keep that momentum going into next year, and as you said, rely on those young guys and some of those newcomers to come in next year and keep things going and get us in that position where hopefully next year we don't have to sit back and wonder if we're in or not. Where we can be like a Washburn or a St. Cloud that that didn't win their conference title but knew that they were pretty much in the show regardless, and hopefully we can have that luxury next year.
Well, that'd be nice.
Or just win the conference tournament and then we don't have to worry about it.
For sure, but no, we've got some work to do, and our returning guys, we need to really have a good spring and summer. We'll give them a couple weeks off here and just back at it, and then coaching staff has to really work hard to try to add the right guys. It's it's not just a matter of bringing in talented players, but talented players that are going to fit well with us. And and that's a big challenge. I think when you look around our league, you sort of know the Mankato's and the Augies and Northerns and Moorheads. I mean, they're always going to get really good players, and so we have to get the right guys that have talent, but also are a great fit with our returning guys, and we're looking forward to solving that puzzle.
All right, well, Coach, congratulations on a great year, and hopefully this time next year we're talking about the NCAA tournament and how we're going to win that bad boy.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you for your support this year, and it's been good being on. Looking forward to the future.
All right, we'll take a time out and have more here on the Wayne State Coaches Show after this timeout.
The Coaches Show is sponsored by Pack and Save. Pack and Save is a proud supporter of Wildcat Athletics and is your one-stop shop for savings. Check out Pack and Save's excellent produce and find the best cuts in their grade A meat department. Be sure to stop at the Top Notch Deli where you can find their amazing fried chicken, daily lunch specials, and all the fixings for your next tailgate or viewing party. Pack and Save is open from 7:30 a.m. to 10 p.m. 7 days a week, and their staff is waiting to help you for all of your grocery needs. Pack and Save, your one-stop shop for savings in Wayne, America. Go Cats!
Welcome back to the Wayne State Coaches Show, and before we go, I want to update you on softball and baseball action. The softball team finished their spring break trip down in Florida with a 7-1 record. Had a great week down in Florida at the National Training Center Spring Games in Clearmont, Florida. They finished things off with a 11-3 win over Clarion College out of Pennsylvania, and in the final game got a 9-5 win over Alderson Broadus. So the Wayne State softball team now 8-6 on the season. They are scheduled to get back to action on Friday, March 22nd. That'll be a week from Friday at the Missouri Western Tournament in St. Joseph, Missouri, and they'll be taking on the University of Mary and Northwest Missouri State in their first games there according to that schedule. Wayne State baseball team closed out their spring break trip to Arizona on Thursday with a sweep of Mount Marty College out of South Dakota, beat them 13-1 and 6-2 to end things on a positive note there at the Tucson Invitational Games. The Wildcat baseball team 9-4 on the season. They're scheduled to open the season this Saturday with a home doubleheader against Minnesota Crookston. At this point, with the snow, the amount of snow that's still on the field, and the forecast for the week, not sure that's going to happen. If it happens, may happen at another location. And you can stay up to date on mywaynenews.com for any updates that come about on that. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the Wayne State Coaches Show here on mywaynenews.com. We'll be back with another edition next week. Until then, this is Mike Carnes. We'll see you later.